When I'm playing, where I'm first sitting down to play, I go into autopilot. It's like the stress kind of goes away, the adrenaline takes over. It's exhilarating. It's the instrument that gets your heart going the most. It's exhilarating. The first time I picked up drumsticks, I couldn't even walk yet. I was barely able to like open my eyes or like lift my head up. So I'm in a band called Every Other Year. We're a pop punk band. It's almost like an oxymoron. It's like pop, which is like the mainstream, like what you'd hear on the radio, and then the punk, which is like the thrash. We kind of took stuff we heard on the radio, stuff that like we knew people were successful doing, and kind of mixed it with like, gave it some edge with some like fast drums, some like heavy guitar parts. Really melodic choruses, wide open, and like kept it simple, which like people like. That's kind of how we developed like our own sound. Does your confidence feel the bruises in every single time he uses? You say that you'll always love him, but he swears one day he'll change. What we mainly try to write about is just stuff that happens to us personally. That's how you get the most raw lyrics. It's like I usually write like at the weirdest hours of the night, like 2, 3 a.m. because I feel like that's when I'm like the most honest with myself. We want to be able to write these lyrics about something personal to us and have the listener give it a different meaning, basically. I remember in San Diego, it was probably like our second, third time down there. There was this one girl who came up to us after the show. She was like hyperventilating. She was like, "Oh my God, like you guys are here." Cause like she lived in San Diego, and we're like, "Whoa, like, yeah, like thank you so much for coming out." She's like, this was like about the time we released our first EP. She's like, "Yeah, like you guys' EP has gotten me like through so much." And she told us, she's like, "I have cancer, and like I go to like my treatments and I listen to your guys' music, and like it really helps like with like all the anxiety and the stress." And we're like in tears. We're like, "Oh my God, like bro, like this is like why we started the band." It's like we wanted to like kind of leave a mark on people and be like, okay, like take what you want from our music and apply it to whatever aids you. So I'd say like what I'd want to be remembered for is, I don't really know. I'd rather people not know who I am and they know the band, the music. I'd rather them know the entity of what the band is. You know, like I'm not gonna try to be remembered for anything specific. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'll let the listeners decide that for me, rather than try my hardest to make a legacy for myself.